Hey guys, MCU Collector here with the next video, and as I had mentioned in my previous video, if you watched till the end, you would know that my next video would be on the Hot Toys Iron Man Mark IV Neon Tech. This is a Sideshow exclusive that I believe was exclusive to the New York Comic Con and available overseas. This Hot Toys figure is not mine. This belongs to a great friend of mine, a sister really. So here I'm just going to be showing you kind of an unboxing and really check out how cool the figure is. I won't be going over everything like a full-on review. I won't be adding the batteries to it to see the light-up features because it is not mine. But I just wanted to share with you just how awesome of a figure this thing is. So let's get right to it and start the unboxing. So right away up in the corner you'll notice there's a little message there that says feature luminous reflective effects on the box and the figure. So you get some neon coloring there, and I haven't quite figured out how the luminous reflective effects work. I'm thinking that you probably need a black light. Unfortunately, I don't have a black light to be able to do that, but it says it and I've heard of it. I might run out and get a black light before this video is done so you guys could really see it all. But really awesome looking packaging there on the side as well. Just a shot of the Iron Man figure. Up at the top, it just has the same wording there. So really cool. Now this is a die-cast figure, the movie Masterpiece series. So a lot of the Iron Man figures are actually getting re-released. Or the previous ones have been re-released into the die-cast, and then any new ones that are coming out are die-cast as well. And just like all the Iron Man die-cast Hot Toys figures, the way the packaging opens up is you lift open the box, and then inside the figure is encased in nice styrofoam packaging. So really cool that they actually cut in and it says Neon Tech Iron Man right there on the foam portion of it. Then we have the instructions here. You always want to make sure with Hot Toys that you read through the instructions, because it is, you know, you're putting a big investment into a collectible figure. You want to make sure that you're handling it correctly and carefully, but really cool. So I'm going to start kind of positioning it a little bit different so you guys can all kind of check it out. Okay guys, so I went out to the store and I got a black light because I was very, very curious as to what the luminous reflective effects would be. So here we're going to test it out. So we're going to turn off light 1, light 2, and we're going to turn on the black light, and you can see what the luminous effects are. And basically all this design right here around the arc reactor and these lines going up, those weren't really visible in the standard light, but now with the black light they are. So I will test out the black light on the actual figure itself, see if it does anything with that neon blue that's on there. Don't know if it will, but we'll test it out and see. But that's pretty cool if you have a black light and you're kind of going around and you kind of notice that. Looks pretty awesome if you ask me. So nice little test. Okay, so here let's take a look. So to open it, you're just gonna carefully, because you don't want to mess the packaging up too much, and it has a very snug fit. But you can remove that layer of styrofoam there, and here we have the figure on top. And this thing looks amazing. Wow. What an awesome figure. Look at that. Neon Tech Iron Man. Wow. I really like the way this thing looks. And because I'm extremely curious, let's see how the black light looks. So I guess you got to get the black light right on it, and you can see that the neon really lights up. So it's hard to really get a feel for it on video, but to me it actually glows green like a standard glow in the dark type of feature. That's how it looks in person. So on video, on camera, you may not get to see that as much because we have, you know, the bright white in the background. So I'll see if I can change it up to give you guys a better look, but that does look really cool. And then there's all this protective padding with the figure on all these different joints. I'm going to go ahead and remove all those, and we'll check out all the accessories that this guy comes with. Okay, so the first layer, it comes with 3 additional interchangeable hands, 3 pairs of interchangeable hands. So these are the flying hands, I guess, with the blast effect, where he would put it and he would use these to help guide him during flight. Here, the second set, if I could take it out of the spot, which I seem to be having some difficulty with because apparently I don't know what I'm doing. But here we have the articulated finger hands. So what's really cool is these fingers each have 1, 2, 3 points of articulation on them. So if you wanted to get the hand into a thwipping pose, you can do that. So really cool. And then they also have a light up feature for the arc reactor, because the arm is going to light up and the light will shine through the wrist and out of the hand through that arc reactor. So really cool there. The last set of interchangeable hands is a fist, and with the fist it actually has this part that's opened up on the arm to where he's actually going to have a laser beam that shoots out. So this figure actually comes with 2 laser beams that will connect in there and poured in. And I'll show you those accessories here in a second, because that is in another layer that's up underneath this layer. Okay, so I removed that additional layer, and what we find up underneath is the really cool Iron Man 2 stand for the Neon Tech Hot Toy figure. We get all the batteries that's going to be needed to actually get all the light up features to work. It does come with a small screwdriver and a pair of tweezers to actually put those batteries in. We have the 2 laser beam effects there, and then we also have all these additional components that are going to go throughout the arms and the legs of the figure. I'll have to go through the instructions first on exactly what each one of those pieces does and where they go before I even do anything with them. So lots of accessories, really cool. Let's move on to the next step. Okay, so real quick, I actually want to show you guys some of these accessories under the blacklight to see the glow effect. So pretty cool there. All the little glowing dots that you see there, all the little individual missiles and things that are on part of the additional weapons and accessories. So really cool that those light up, and you can see the stand lights up as well. And look here, those hands, the lines really stand out, and then those weapon spots really glow through. So really cool. Okay, and here are all the accessories laid out, so you can see some additional arm pieces, shoulder pieces that are going to go and connect and replace some of the other things on the figure. So really cool. You can see how many different things there are. So you can see there's a lot of work, so I'm not going to show this all, but I just wanted to show a little bit. There's 4 different battery compartments on this figure. There's 1 on each arm, 1 in the back, and then 1 in the head. So you use the screwdriver that comes with the figure, unscrew, get the little screw out so you can get the batteries in there, and you can see that it is a very small section, so you're going to have to use these tweezers to be able to get the batteries in there. So oops. So you got to be very careful. So I'm not going to do this on camera, but you guys kind of get the idea. You just want to be very careful about it. Okay, and here is the Iron Man Neon Tech figure with the batteries put in and the lights turned on. I know I originally said I was not going to do that, but my friend wanted me to get a full in-depth review and get that going. So really awesome. We'll turn down some of these lights so you can really see the light up effects. And it is just not dark enough to really pick it up, but if I turn off all the lights, bam, you could see how much it lights up. So really cool. There you can see the arc reactors on the hands, and then the chest arc reactor, and then the 2 eyes that light up. So that is a pretty awesome feature. So one thing, it is kind of difficult getting some of those batteries in, especially in the head, because there's some strong magnets in the head that make it very difficult to get those batteries in, because the magnet wants to pull the battery right out of the compartment. So you kind of have to strategically place your finger when putting in those batteries, just so you're aware. So I'm going to get all these lights turned off. But first, actually, let me change out the black light and let's see how it looks lit up with the lights on and everything with the black light on. And then after that, I'm going to turn off all the lights off camera, because I got to pop all the little covers off and turn them all off. So I'll do that off camera. But let's check out the black light. Okay, here it is with the black light turned on. And I wish it came through in video a little bit better. These lines don't glow so much in the video, but in person you could really see them and it really stands out. Let me try zooming in to see if you guys can see what I'm talking about. And you can a little bit. If you look, you can really see those lines kind of glow a little bit more so, and that's really cool with the black light what it does. So I really like the way that looks, but lit up, the thing looks absolutely amazing. I really like the way it looks. Okay, so let me get these batteries out, let me get these lights off, and then we'll start switching out some of the components and go over the articulation. Okay, so before I show all the different components and everything as it gets pieced together, what I'd like to do first is go over the articulation. So lots of movement in here. So the head can look down when I pop the faceplate off. The head can look up, so great for flight movements, and then the neck is actually a separate piece which has a little bit of motion in there. Not a lot, but there is a little bit. Now the shoulder pieces, these shoulder armors are not removable, so you want to be very careful with these. But you can pull them out so you can change the motion in there and get the arm to go up and get the arm to go down, and then you can actually pull it out, and it has a butterfly joint in there. I know it's hard to see, but there's this piece that comes out and you can work it to get that butterfly in, and it extends out, and you can push it back in to get as much range of motion with that arm as you possibly can. Obviously the same for both sides as well. You can see how it comes out. So you want to get that back in there, get that shoulder armor back. While we're looking at the back of the figure, let's actually look at some of these pieces, these flaps that kind of come out. So for flight poses, you can move these pieces there. So pretty cool how that works there. Get these flaps down. One other thing that's really cool is he has these pieces that come up on his shoulder, and you can actually see that there's 3 little missiles in each side that he could shoot out. So he's loaded with weapons. Now articulation, you can extend the torso up so you can get some bend in there. It's not a whole lot, but you can get some. There's a little bit of side-to-side movement there. So pretty cool how they do that. Because when you push it back down, you're not getting a whole lot of the motion in there. That's when you raise it up, you get more of it. So really cool how they do that. Now these hips, there's flaps here for the hips, so you can really move the legs around a little bit more so there. So they can kind of come out by opening the flaps. So if you put the flaps down for when you're not really moving the legs around too much, you want to make sure that you get all the pieces to line up in there. Has a double jointed knee which works out great. There is toe articulation as well, along with the foot, so the foot can hinge up and then the toe itself can hinge as well. And there's these different moving parts throughout that really lets you open up some of that movement in there, and it gives it a nice layered look as if it's a real suit. So it's great attention to detail on those types of things for this figure. So really, really cool how that is. So now what I'm going to do is switch out some of these components. I'm going to have to double check the instructions again to make sure I can kind of get all the things in the right place. Now in the instructions it tells you a few different things as well, so you want to be careful on some of these joints because you don't want them to rub up against each other because it could damage the figure. So do be very, very careful. Oh, and I almost forgot, there's a bicep swivel. There's a double jointed elbow which works great, and then the wrists are on a ball peg. Depending on which hands you use, you can adjust the movement. So like the flight posing hands, the arc reactor, they're not really going to move around, so a whole lot, a little bit of swivel to it. And then these wrist guards, these hand guards, they all have flaps so you can adjust and move them around. So let's switch out some of the components on this figure. Okay, so I switched out the additional components that the figure comes with, all the different things that you can kind of snap into place. And basically it's all additional weaponry upon the shoulders and the arm, specifically the forearm around the wrist. So here we have this piece where he has this set. There's 1, 2, 3, 6 rocket missiles in there. And then this can kind of adjust up depending on how you want to aim to it. So I have the flap up here to show you kind of how that looks on his left arm, and then I kept the right arm as kind of the standard of how it looks out of the package, and you can see that it's pretty plain, whereas this one is jam-packed with some weaponry there. So again, it's just the shoulder piece there. This chest piece can come off, and then you can place this shoulder piece there. It's magnetized, but here on the right forearm, all these different pieces clip into each other. Now one thing I'm going to do, and it should look really good, is the black light. So just like I had the black light shining on earlier, all these little missiles should kind of glow. So let's take a look at that. As I turn off the lights, and you can actually see actually a little bit better without all the bright lights. But let's get the black light going. And you can see all of the weaponry that he's got on this arm, and it is loaded. I also have the laser beam on there. I kind of wish the laser beam would have glowed. They use a translucent blue. It just ports into the little rocket there. It's just a translucent blue color for the laser. I wish they would have actually used a solid color, because then on the glow would have looked really nice, but unfortunately they did not. So pretty awesome weaponry there. I'll try and get a little bit closer in for you guys. As you can see here, the glowing on all the little missiles that are around the arm, and that looks pretty awesome, all the different pieces that he has here. So really cool. Now let's get the regular lights back on. Okay, so looking up close on the wrist, you could see all the different components added on there, and you could see all the different missiles that are coming up out of the arm. So it looks pretty awesome there. Okay, now one thing I want to show you is kind of how some of these pieces come off and come together. They just kind of sit on there, so you can kind of pull them apart, and then each one is labeled. So like here, you could see that this one is labeled L2. If I can get the light shining on that right, you can see that this one is L2. So the corresponding piece, that's the regular piece, will also have an L2, if I can get that in the right light, so you can see the L2 there. And basically it's just gonna port right on in like so. So now that part of the arm is back together again. So like this piece here, and you want to make sure you're careful when pulling these pieces apart. Well, that's a little bit difficult, but you guys kind of see the idea. So they just pop right off, and you can pop off the corresponding piece back to it. Okay, so one thing I didn't show you guys earlier is actually when you have the light on, there's a blue light in there that actually shines through on some of the weapons. So it's kind of hard to see as I got it in this view. So if I turn off the light, you could see that the light shines through with all around the arm where those weapons are. So, you know, as the missiles are out, you could see that it lights up. So it looks pretty cool. I know it's hard to see on camera this way, but you can see that there is the blue light inside of there. So that is pretty awesome. Okay, so here's a final look at the Hot Toys Neon Tech Mark IV Iron Man figure. So again, what an awesome looking figure. He's done in just a shiny black all throughout, and then you have the blue lines. So the Neon Tech, or as the nickname people have called it, the Tron Iron Man. It is an amazing figure. Really awesome, so I really appreciate my friend letting me get to check out this Hot Toy before she even got to. I got to open the box and everything, and it is just an awesome figure as you look throughout and look at the sculpt and everything. Now the die-cast parts on this thing, from what I could tell, are the legs, the arms, for the most part, and I think a little bit in this torso here, but mainly just the arms and the legs of this guy are what is die-cast, and it is a very, very awesome figure. And I know it's hard to see through the light since it's just a black, black figure. It doesn't come out so well in the video, but there it is. What an awesome figure, guys. If you guys have any questions, let me know down in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know it's probably a little bit of a lengthy one, but for these Hot Toys, they're expensive figures, so you want to make sure that you're being very careful with them and everything. And hopefully, I was very informational for you guys. You guys let me know down in the comments below what you guys thought of the video. I am very curious and would like that feedback. But I guess that's it for the video. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it.